Hey guys, we are back, and it's Christopher Ojeda with Hospitality Happy Hour. And guess what? We're changing the show up a little bit this year. And as you get for the last 2, 3, 4 years, a new year, and I think that my son Noah here is a realtor now with us. And he is part of the show now, unless we're doing a restaurant, and he's going to be the one filming and stuff, and knowing that hey, you can talk the restaurant language, Dad, so all that good stuff, right?
All day long, yes,
all
sir.
day long. So anyway, guys, just want a little introduction. Stay tuned, because at the end of the show, I'm going to be telling you our upcoming guests, things like that, or who we're going to be having on the show this month. And then we got a great year coming up this year, don't we?
Really big year. Very excited. Very excited.
Good year coming up this year, all that good stuff. Hey, so anyway, guys, I want to introduce somebody. Our guest today is a mentor, a leader, a father, a great husband, and one of my best friends. He is also an unbelievable entrepreneur who owns a mortgage company. He continues to bless others by promoting their nonprofit organizations through his show that is called A Community Minute. Let's give you a warm welcome to the man, the legend, Mr. Jeremy Marks is in the house.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I think I might get him teared up.
I'm going to have to drink more water than that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us today. Thank you.
That's an honor.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to go ahead and take that and use that again. But man, that is an honor. You know,
absolutely.
That is beautiful. I'm a little taken back, but no, it's exciting to be here. Obviously, we're excited for the new year.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about a lot today.
We are going to talk about a lot today. We're going to do a lot of talking today, but we will keep it short because we want to keep all of you engaged. But we're going to have some fun with it, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We're going to have some fun with it. You guys, what better way to start the year off, 2024, talking about your business, talking about what's happening in the world, what's happening in mortgage rates and things like that, right?
That's right.
So, and our goal is to educate people. I mean, and that's what your business is all about. You're always educating everybody, and that's what I love about you. You're always educating. So thank you for continuing to do it.
Thank you. Education is knowledge. Communication is the relationship. You know, we often say, don't talk about it, be about it.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, I couldn't be standing next to two men that go out there and live the same life that they preach every day. So it's an absolute honor to be here today, and we're going to have some fun.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
All day long. Yeah, so Jeremy, if you could talk to us a little bit, how'd you get started in the mortgage business? What got you into it? Why?
All right, Noah.
2001.
When?
2001.
What month again?
April. I already know what he's going to say. I already know where he's going with this. I already know where he's going with this.
It was July of 2007.
Okay.
3 months after you were born.
Okay.
You were still a baby at home. And that's when I started in the mortgage business. So my short story is my whole entire career I was going to be a financial advisor. I went to college, my degrees in economics and finance. I graduated. At the time, my girlfriend, who's now my wife, Tiffany, we traveled. We backpacked for 11,000 miles.
Shout out to Tiffany, by the way. We love Tiffany. Shout out to her.
2.5 months, and I was on a journey coming back. I was going to be a financial advisor. The day after I got back, 9/11 hit, and all the hiring options, all my career options had frozen, were rescinded, and so everything I had done for my entire 4 or 5 years of college, internships, was thrown out the window. And so Noah, I had to make a shift. And so I fell into the mortgage industry. I felt most people buy a home and then invest future later on. So I started July of 01, and at the end of the day, the best thing ever happened was that shift. I fell in love with the mortgage industry. Clearly buying a home is probably one of the most exciting things around. A tangible benefit. Obviously, home ownership is probably the most important thing in our entire country today, ever since that COVID-19 thing happened.
Yeah,
100%.
But I have to tell you, it's July of 2001, and it wasn't until 6 years later that I started Community Living in America. Great question. You're going
Awesome.
back on me.
So guys, yeah, he has tons of experience. He's been in it as long as I've been alive. So don't hesitate to ask him anything.
You don't want to know what you don't even know what I was doing when he was young.
We'll stay out of that. We'll stay.
What other questions do we have for Mr. Marks here?
You're up next.
No, am I up
So
next
yeah,
here?
you are up next.
So let me ask you, Jeremy. I know you briefly spoke about some times that you've gone through, but have you ever had any moments where you think that business wasn't going to work out? That you were just like, damn, do I just close it all up now and then just go work for a bank and not worry about any of this stuff anymore? And you know, because the one thing I love about you, you have a business, and it's not you as like I'm the boss. It's my whole team. You're and this is what I love about you, is because of the fact that with your business, you're not thinking about you and your family. You're thinking about everybody that's on your team, their family, because their family is your family. But now let's go even than that, because you're not even thinking about all that you work with. For example, us, because we're your family, and you're thinking about, wow, we've got to get this. We got to work as a team so that we can all. I'm taking care of my family. Does that make sense?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
It's literally, you just described it to myself, and I've never heard it done that way.
So are there times where you just felt like you just wanted to close it up and it was just bad, and you was like, I can't do this anymore?
Numerous times.
Yeah.
And I'll go through a few of them. There have been more impossible times since I started in this industry than I can shake a stick at. But the thing that I can tell you right now, our principles are the biggest asset in the world are people. And in a time where it's 2024, technology, social media have taken over the world, it's genuinely the asset of people. Companies don't make people, obviously. You know, people make companies, and that's a principle I stand by. Right, family. I can tell you that probably one of my biggest strengths and weaknesses is I care almost too much about humans and friends and family. But at the end of the day, you know, this last year has been a very difficult time in the mortgage industry. And so I can tell you just most recently, not that won't change, but I don't know many mortgage companies that haven't had any layoffs in the last 3 years, and we've never laid anyone off up until now, to this time. So things can change tomorrow, but some of the most difficult times, Chris, I mean, right at 2001, you know, imagine going to college, doing several internships, you give your whole entire life to being an advisor, and then all of a sudden things shift.
Yep.
And so I had to shift. And so it was one of the best decisions I ever made getting in the mortgage industry. One of the most impossible, difficult times was 07 to 09. You guys know my son Harper. Our boy was born in 07, in October of 07, 3 months after I started this company. And so literally, we didn't close a loan for 4, 5, 6 months. I know this is one of the most difficult times in the real estate world, but it's just unique and different. 07, 08, and 09 were different. And so the only thing that got through me is my faith, belief in myself. I always picture myself out there, what else would I go do? And I don't want to do anything else. And so I'm going to do this as long as God gives me an opportunity to go out and do it. So I can some possible the last percent of loan originators in this country didn't renew their license. So that means almost is gone. Unfortunately, people just in our market. At the end of the day, getting inflation under control, and that biggest, most exciting times in real estate, and we'll come back more on that.
Yeah, and actually, let's talk about that, since we're kind of, that's a great, we're getting into it right now, and let's talk about interest. Where do you see it going right now?
So, for those of you out there right now, this is probably the question I'm asked on a daily basis. So many consumers out there, professionals, think that interest rates are driven by the federal funds rate, okay? And so automatically the federal funds rate changed by a quarter, half, point, whatever, it's an automatic reflection in the mortgage industry. It's simply not true. For those of you that are in the industry, mortgage rates got above 8% for clean A paper clients just not even 3-4 months ago. And so that's a little bit scary for folks, right? Well, the flip side of that is, why have rates gone from the 8s to the 6s? So right now we've broken back into the 6% range, which is still well below historical averages.
That is correct.
The federal funds rate has not changed. So folks say, well, rates have come down 1.5 points, 2 points. Why is that? Yeah. And so I'm kind of an econ guy. I love mortgage-backed securities. I love markets. That's just a passion for me. But I always explain folks, most folks don't want to know about these things, but all mortgage rates want to do to drop is get inflation under control. Those of you out there that understand that the market we're in, inflation is getting more and more under control. We did have a little bit in December that they didn't expect. But I can tell you right now, going into 2024, we're here. I can tell you right now, mark my words, you will see 3 Fed cuts this year. As early as March, you're going to see potentially in June, July, and you'll see another time in October. That's my prediction. 75 basis points by the end of 2024. What will that do and reflect? How will that reflect in mortgage rates? We'll be tipping back into those 5s, which is a huge benefit, right? And so the key here is education is knowledge. And so what's going to happen is you've got customers out there, clients, we all do, and they're all sitting on the sideline saying, I'm going to wait till that happens. Yes. Well, if you're in Kansas City, I mean, you guys are here, we're here. Everywhere I go, I see new apartments going up. And when I pop in, I ask how much the rents are on these apartments. They're $2,000 a month, a little. They're more
pricey.
There are more folks paying the highest rents they've ever paid in the entire history. Right. And so all those folks have been saving money. They want to come out and they want to all go buy a home. And so if you're out there right now, don't wait. Get with these guys right now. Go secure a home, because now is one of the greatest times you're going to have an opportunity to do that. A lot of folks sit here and ask me constantly, you've got crashes, you've got markets, you have guys, the genius of economics, Noah?
You're not.
Supply and demand. Yeah. It's not complex. Yeah. So let's just go back. Is there enough houses for everyone? No. For those of you that live under a rock, Kansas City is the second fastest growing metroplex in the entire Midwest, and it's probably on its way to number 1 for the next 5 to 10, 15 years. If you ask any builder or any real estate professional, heck, consumers, there's not enough houses. And so the key is go get yourself a home while you can.
Yes. And this is what's happening with some of the buyers, because going back to what you were just saying, I mean, because Noah and I, we're speaking to buyers every day. And what a lot of them are saying is, well, I'm going to wait until interest rates drop like that. Whoa, hold on. Let's wait a minute now. Wait, do you really, and here's our pitch back to them, and I'm going to tell all of you right now as we're looking here is, don't wait until the spring, because why?
Bidding wars
are coming. It's a bidding war now. We're back to that bidding war right now, right? Also, now you're going $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. I don't even know, but you're going to go over. And then all of a sudden, there's that ugly thing that we called in its present condition. Well, who in the hell wants to do that? Right? Because I don't.
Not want that.
And as a realtor, we don't want to get involved in that. We want to go in there and do the inspections and make sure that we hire that inspector to do the sewer, to do the radon, to do the full home inspection. I mean, I get fired up about this, right? As you can tell. I mean, literally. So that's what we want. And so this is what I'm telling all of you buyers out there. If you're looking, don't wait. Let's go now, okay?
We tell them to go now, find the house you want, and then when rates do drop, refinance.
In the meantime, the good news is we're back already.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
The folks that did exit the market, the 7s and 8s, need to be back in the market right now. You know, if you're sitting out there, you're sitting on the sideline, and Chris just nailed it. If you don't have $20,000, $50,000 extra, bid it out, and you will go back.
And these know that it's going up. And I was speaking to her down the street, and she said that she's paying $2,200 a month on an apartment, on a 1-bedroom apartment, 900 square foot. And I was like, oh, Lord. I mean, where's the time's gone? I mean, because I remember my first apartment in Southern California, I was paying $600 for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, and I thought that was expensive. And there was 4 of us sharing that.
And you were in California.
In California, that's different.
But imagine the price now. But even when my best friend came out here from California over Christmas break, and he was asking me, because he's in the mortgage business. Sorry you couldn't meet him, by the way. I know we were busy doing things. But he couldn't imagine. I mean, he was sitting there, how much is rent here? We told him, he goes, crap. That's almost as much as California right now. Similar. I mean, it's pretty similar, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So it's crazy.
So what would you say, because we always hear people comparing, what about like the rates during COVID? What about that? What would you say to people who always compare rates to COVID?
I'm glad you brought it. I say it very simply. Do you want COVID back?
Nope.
None of us do.
Never. Nope.
None of us want these times, these exceptions in history that come along every 100 years. So, yes, these exceptions to the rule, if you got in at that time, these 2. And if they do come back, we don't want to deal with all the other financial, economic challenges this country's dealing with. So I can tell you right now that it's a great question. Consumers all want to know these things. But let's say they do come back. Well, take advantage and refinance into those loans.
Exactly. There you go.
So no, these are great.
And what do they always say? Marry the and date the rate
Yeah.
and refinance, and then you call Jeremy up and you refinance it, right?
That's right.
Because
And it is important you know that right now every lender out there is offering a refinance. They say it's a free refi. Purchase with me now, do a free refinance. I like to just clarify, because I'm very honest, transparent. There's no such thing as a free anything in this world. So just keep in mind that every lender out there is offering no lender fees, which is an underwriting fee, our fee, but standard fees, appraisal. And that's the challenge I don't like with marketing is a lot of misconceptions out
It
there.
is,
But
yeah.
you are right. Take advantage of the opportunity of rates.
Well, and let's think about this. Think about that. So many people are there sitting there thinking, what do they do? They didn't marry the home.
Some don't even like the house we're
A lot of
in.
them don't
Yeah.
like home, but they just got in a home because they wanted to get into a home, right? But a lot of them, they can't stand their home. They're like, I wish I had this, I wish I had this, but now I don't want to get out of it because the interest rate like that, and I don't want to pay this interest rate. And I truly understand. But what's more important, the house you live in, because you can refinance, and when rates drop, now all of a sudden you've got this rate, and you've got this beautiful home that you're in with your family. That you could be a young couple, and you guys are planning your family. You're like, oh my gosh, this is the neighborhood we want to live in. This is the home we want. We picture little Bobby running in the backyard and the dog and things like that. I mean, seriously. I mean, that's what I picture when my wife and I first had our first child,
That's the
which
most
was right next to me now.
That's right.
So absolutely. But it's funny though, because when we got our first home, we were 9% back in those days. And oh my gosh, I thought it was the greatest thing. Woo, 9%. You know, I thought it was the greatest. And now I'm hearing people like 9%, and I'm like, all we're doing is normalizing, right?
That's right, normalizing.
We're just normalizing. Not 9% is not normalizing, but we're normalizing.
That's right. And I'm really glad you brought that concept up
Yeah.
because it's not brought up enough. It's about folks that are so focused on those rates that literally they're not moving.
Which they should never happen.
That's right. And use an example. There's a silver tsunami coming. This is not to be disrespectful to anyone, but the baby boomers were going to downsize at the highest level possible when COVID hit for the next 10 years. What happened is COVID hit, they all said, we're not doing this anymore. We're going to go ahead and fix these homes up, put all our money into them, redo them, refinance them, get low rates,
Right.
and they're all sitting in these beautiful, huge homes. But I don't like to talk about negatives of life. This is life. People are born and people die every day. And so it doesn't matter if your rate's 2.5%, if your knees are not getting you up and down those stairs anymore. It tears my heart out. My neighbor across the street, for the last 3 years, all he's talked to me about is he's not going anywhere. He's never going anywhere. He's literally fallen 3 times in the last 3 months, and it's got me a little emotional, but there's no way he's going to be able to stay in this home. And his 2 and 3% rate does not matter. His utility, what he gets out of his life is so
Right.
important. And so the other side of that is just think anyone that has a low rate, well, they built all that equity. The baby boomers aren't scared of 7, 8, 9, 10%, 12% rates because they're used to them. The good news is now they're seeing an opportunity where rates are getting back in the 6s, so they see the opportunity where they can go sell their home, downsize, buy a home, take out a lot smaller mortgage. They don't really care. And that's going to free up the inventory that we desperately need.
Yeah.
The challenge will be if they decide to rent these properties out, and the investors are the ones out there and not the individual investors. The corporate investors are the ones really hijacking the housing industry from all of us. And if you're not aware of that, that's a whole different conversation, but I'm not going to go there unless
We
you
won't.
want to.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit because we can sit here and talk about interest rate, the mortgage, the feds. We can talk the economy. We can sit here all day long and talk about that. That
Some
could be
long hours
that
right
could be
there.
A whole nother show that
It's a
we
whole
probably
4-hour
need to do, right?
Joe Rogan
And
podcast right
do
there.
More of a roundtable mastermind discussion live on this stuff, right? And people might tune into us and listen to us on some of this stuff, right? So let's switch gears around. As I stated in your intro, that Jeremy does a lot for the community. He has a show called A Community Minute, and he airs it once a month, and it's on his website. And he goes to different companies, nonprofit, and I salute you for that. I salute you for that because I know it takes a lot of time. Because there's many times I've called him and tell. Like Noah and I always say, we're mobile. We're always mobile.
You gotta be on
right?
the go.
He's mobile. You got to be willing to go all the time. Let's switch gears and let's talk about that because there's something called the Angel Foundation, right? And it has to do with music. I'm a huge fan of music. I think all of you guys know I'm a diehard Carlos Santana fan, all that stuff. Jeremy, I just want to throw some big shout out to him because I remember he got his front row tickets on my birthday and to Santana at Sprint Center and to a few other concerts where he just the ushers kept walking us, and I'm sitting there thinking, where are we going? and got us right up front at some of these concerts. And man, trust me, it brought tears to my eyes, and it gets me teared up now thinking about, because when I tell you guys he's my friend, he is truly, I'm blessed to have this gentleman in my family, my heart, everything else. He's just been an awesome guy. I love his beard, by the way, all that good stuff. And but he's just been awesome. So let's talk about the Band of Angels, because we are doing it right here, and this is our fly here at Ingle Invokers. And I'm going to have Jeremy speak a little bit more about it, how it started, and all that good stuff, and what's going on with it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Yeah, the Community Minute, what we do is we spotlight 12 not-for-profits. I'm going to ask your audience if anyone knows of any incredible angels. This is the Band of Angels, this not-for-profit that we're spotlighting this month. But if you know any, I call all not-for-profit volunteers angels. If you know of any not-for-profit angels, what we do is we just try to put the spotlight on what they're doing with the community. We put them on KKFI radio for an entire month, run ads specifically just promoting what they're doing for our community. We put them in magazine and we put them in social media pieces. When I met with Mike Meyer, so this month is Meyer Music, is Band of Angels. Mike Meyer at Meyer Music is the one who started this not-for-profit with Fox 4. His family started this organization, Meyer Music, back they were teachers. And in the summers they decided they needed something to do. So they started a little instrument shop that's grown into really the Kansas City premier instrument rental place. My daughter plays orchestra, and that's kind of how this began. Long story short, imagine this. Imagine you go to school, you play orchestra, Noah, and you're playing the violin. All right, now you're in high school, and then mom and dad have a financial challenge. The mortgage industry hits, recession hits, and all of a sudden mom and dad can't pay that bill anymore. They have to come pick that instrument up and repossess it. And if you want to think about walking up to somebody's door, knocking on the door and asking a 12, 17-year-old, I need your instrument back.
Even younger than 12.
Or younger, elementary school, that's right. Whatever it is, imagine how difficult that is, number one, because they clearly are financially not able to get things done. Clearly kids that aren't financially stable might not have enough food. They might not have parent time. They may not have these things. And that instrument is their creativity. They can spend their entire life in that.
That's their world right there.
It is their world. And then more importantly, picture them going to school the next day. Imagine going to school and they'll go walking up to your orchestra teacher and saying, I'm going to have to quit today because I can't afford an instrument.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah.
And then the school, unfortunately,
Not
doesn't
good.
have they don't have the funds to provide
This is
that.
what had to happen for years up until this group of angels, Band of Angels, came together. And so our goal is just to, we've set up this kind of above and beyond, but our goal is to try to get as many instruments donated so we can get them out to the Band of Angels. So what we're doing is we've got a drive set up on the 19th, next Friday. We've got a happy hour set up. We've got live music. We've got 4 local breweries. Vine Street Brewery, which is the first black-owned brewery. It's right down at 20th and Vine. Call Sign Brewery is just north of the river, North Kansas City. It is a veteran-owned establishment, local brewery. Martin City Brewery has actually become all over the city. Even though it started in South Kansas City over there. Now they're in Lee's Summit. They're everywhere. And then Stockyards Brewery, which is now in the airport. These are all locally owned craft beer establishments that have donated us beer to come out and they're saying, hey, this is unbelievable. People in the beer community and the music community, they all kind of get together. So our goal is to have a happy hour, celebrate the Band of Angels who's going to be down at our space. Come by, drop off an instrument, drop off 2 or 3 instruments, have some conversation, some snacks. If you'd like to have a beer, great. But that's what we're really promoting. And so I really appreciate you putting that out there because that is really what drives me as an individual is the community. I think all too often we talk about it. Everybody talks, and then they don't do things about it. And so it's like we say, don't talk about it, be about it. And this is the stuff, this is the fabric of our community. So go look them up, Band of Angels. If you can't come by and drop an instrument off, please just share the word. There's also ways you can make financial donations. They've got a gala coming up on February 3rd as well. But they're literally, there's not a kid in our metro that they've taken an instrument from that they can't give them a new free instrument that they own forever. In addition, if you have any broken instruments, they turn all those into artwork and then they auction them off at their gala. So if you know any musicians, if you're a musician, if your kid used to play an instrument, if you just got done...
Just collecting dust in the attic somewhere.
Consider coming out. If you can't get it to us, drop it to any Myers Music. Any Myers Music in the Kansas City Metro, you can drop it off there. It goes exactly to the same cause. Come by Ingram.
Or you can drop it over here at 5255 West 116th Place here in Park Place here in the town center area, and you can drop it off right here to us too.
Absolutely. And that's why, this is just a very organic piece that started years ago. And so now because of this, Chris, I know you guys have seen the value in this. And so
absolutely.
Ingler Volker has actually become a drop-off location because they see the value in what we're doing for the community. So just help us spread the word. Our goal is to get 100 instruments for kids if possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That, I mean, this is just, you guys, seriously, I know a lot of you have instruments that are collecting dust in the attic, in the garage, or your child's under their bed that nobody uses anymore, from the flute to a violin to whatever.
Not drums.
Yeah.
Or a big piano. Don't add anything else.
Piano. I'm going to look really good.
Nice decoration.
But anyway, thank you. Thank you for always doing that for the community. Thank you for always just being you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Noah, we have any more questions?
Yeah, I mean, I want to circle back to the business side of things and the entrepreneur side of things, because I know there's a lot of, especially like in my generation, there's a lot of kids that a lot of people aren't wanting to go to college anymore. Like, it's not for everybody. It wasn't for me personally, and a lot of people have that entrepreneur mindset these days and want to start their own thing. They see people like you, they see successful business owners as you are in Kansas City, and like they see what you do now and they see how your business flows, but they don't realize you've been in this for over 20 years. They don't see all the hard work, all the late nights you stayed up building this business. So like, if you have any tips to young entrepreneurs out there, what would you give to them? Someone who's maybe sitting back watching this, they might be afraid to start a business, or they don't really know where to get started or how to go about it, who to talk to. But yeah, if you just had any tips to anyone.
Great question, Noah. I think it's the same advice I give my children every day. Stay away from the noise. Focus on balance.
Yeah.
Balance is my goal in life. Everywhere I've ever gone, Noah, I've asked really highly successful people, how'd you find balance in your life? No one to this day has ever been able to answer that question to me. I don't care if you are a very successful, it does not matter. I go through a list of individuals. No one has ever been able to answer that question. So I've been on a mission my whole life to find out what is balance. It's a decision we have to make. It's a lot easier to just jump down what everyone else is doing. That noise is always there.
Yeah.
The thing that your dad and I did not have to deal with is social media and the
100%.
world that exists.
100%.
And I think there's a deep depression out in this world of mental health crisis. It's so deep out there that kids, my kids, your kids, our generations. And so just bring in a little bit more balance, put the phone away, turn it off, make a deliberate decision to do things.
And listen to music. There you go.
Music.
Good music. Good music.
Yeah, music is, but no, that's a great question. I think that really mindset is everything.
100%.
I think that too many folks find a reason why something can't work instead of just digging in and making it work. And so that's something your father and I have in common. We don't take no for an answer. We don't give up. But great question. Stay away from the noise. Stay balanced. We have a lot we learned from your generation.
Absolutely.
See, I'm not good at social media. I frankly don't care about it as much. So I have a lot of weaknesses in that arena. So just know that you guys are way more intelligent. Let me give you an example. My son, for example, just got his license. Okay?
Let me know when he's driving.
yeah, I'm clear.
He's driving.
Staying off the road.
But, he went to get his license, and you have to sign in your signature's in cursive, right?
Yeah.
Well, so many kids didn't learn cursive.
That is
And
correct.
so many kids don't have a signature. So, I said, well, that's crazy, son. He says, well, why don't we have to learn? I said, why don't you have to learn cursive? He says, because it's a waste of our time. In reality, he says, you don't know how to use your phone. You don't know how to do any of these things. I know how to do way more things than you do. So I think we can all learn from our generations.
100%.
I think one of the biggest things we have to do is be aware that we can learn from your generation
Absolutely.
equally of you learning from ours. Great question.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
Appreciate that.
So, Jeremy, what drives you every day, my friend? Every day. I want
Community.
deep.
Deep. My family, my community, giving back. There was a point where my kids were born. I kind of just gave up on. You asked me if there was ever a time I gave up. My kids were born in 2007, 2011. I was a stay-at-home dad, even though I was self-employed. I ran my own business. I had a very small business. I ran it, but I kind of lost track of. I gave up. Money is the root of all evil. I'm not really one of those that truly lives that, but I kind of do. Because I realized I quit caring in 2009, 10, 11. all this, and I sat down with a gentleman named Daryl Rodrock. He's one of the biggest developers in the Kansas City region. If you live in any neighborhood in this entire county that we're in now, Rodrock Developments, and he was a mentor of mine. And I sat down with him one day, and Chris, I said, you know, I don't care about money anymore. And he said, well, if there's one thing you could do, one person you could be, who would it be? And I basically described a man that would just wake up every day to give money back. He got in my face and he said, what in the are you waiting on? And it clicked. You can't go change the world if you don't have the resources to do it. So that day, if you're a Blues Brothers fan, favorite movie of all time,
Absolutely love that movie.
band back together. And I told my dad, I was watching, I said, Dad, I'm putting the band back together. So I don't know what the hell that means.
Blues
I
Brothers,
said,
Dad.
I've had a company in order for almost 5 years, 6, 7 years, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to go out and I'm going to get it back together. From that day on, the community, not-for-profits, taking what I get to give back out is what drives me. It's not always the best financial decision, but I think that's really who I am at the core. You know, you can only become who you. A lot of people talk about what they want to do, and so from that day on, I've just literally been waking up every day to give everything back. Because someday we're not going to be here, and none of these things we have really matter.
Yeah,
Houses, cars. I don't really have.
Hey, you can't take it with you.
You sure as hell can't take it with you. So,
Right? So let me ask you a question, and you kind of answer this. So what is the one thing you want viewers to know about you? What's the one thing?
oh, the one thing, don't discriminate against my beard.
I love your beard.
Yeah, we know you love the beard. We know you love the
A lot of
beard.
people constantly in my industry always question my beard, but for your viewers out there, I use my beard to donate to different charities. Last year we didn't do a donation because I was lucky enough to have a real estate agent in the Topeka region that decided that I inspired him to shave his beard. And 2 years ago, I basically put 30 days together. We helped a not-for-profit here in Kansas City called SOAR Special Needs. They needed around $8,000 to get through the year financially. Between us here, I sat here crying and bawling my eyes out with Doc Hunsley, who is the CEO and just an absolute angel. So I simply said to him, I shave my beard for charity from time to time. Is that something you'd like to do? He called me back an hour later and said, let's roll. We raised $13,500 for SOAR Special Needs. That is really what drives me. And so if you know anyone out there that is in a not-for-profit, I don't take my hair and put it on top of heads. That's not what it is. It's just to raise awareness.
You're looking cool. Put it on my
To
head.
raise awareness. We don't want to go there right now. But, you know, just know that you can do something. Anyone out there can just do something. This started back when my goddaughter was born with Down syndrome, Delilah. And it was 2012, and shoot, 12 years ago, and I had never had more facial hair than either one of these gentlemen right here. And I woke up one day and I decided, you know, I'm not going to shave until we raise $5,000 for the Down Syndrome Guild. Sorry, Down Syndrome Innovations. They've changed in the last 15 years. And so sure enough, we finally raised $5,000, and from that day on, I just decided to do something a little bit different and unique. And so if you know of anyone out there that would love to take this beard and go shave it on stage or promote, I'm not sure what we're going to do this year with it, but I've got some ideas. Aside from that, I care about you. I care about people. I care about people more than anything else in the world. So if you can't tell that about me.
Yes, he does. Yes, he
Amazing,
does.
amazing.
Anything you want to say, Noah?
No, I just want to say thank you for being here. I know I look up to you as a successful business owner and a person as well. So thank you very much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Noah.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate you. So, guys, again, I just want to thank Mr. Jeremy Marks, the legend, the man in the house, man. I just want to really, really thank you. And what a great way to start off 2024 with one of my best friends and having him in here like that. You know what? I love you, buddy. Thank you for being who you are. We truly, you know, I'm trying to make you cry here. So and so that is, but anyway, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you both.
Hey guys, so we've got a show, like I said, next week we're going to be live again, and we're actually going to do a double whammy next Thursday. aren't
Double
we?
whammy, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Special.
Starting at 8:00 a.m. next Thursday, we are going down to Waldo Cafe out in Brookside area, and great, we do our networking meeting there every Thursday.
We do Referral Madness. Shout out to them.
Absolutely. So a big shout out to Referral Madness, and we are going to be there next Thursday at 9 a.m. and we're going to be interviewing the restaurant owner there, Mr. David Hollins out there at 9 a.m. So you guys stay tuned with that, because what he's going to do is he's going to bring out some of his premier dishes out there, and guess what? We get to try them, which is awesome. That's the great thing about what we do. We get to try this stuff live, and so because you got to see what the food looks like, right? You got to see it, absolutely. And then we're coming back here to the shop, and we are interviewing who?
My good friend, Mr. Eddie Lopez. He's another young entrepreneur on the come up, and he has his own cleaning business called KC Clean It Up. So he does cleaning from big commercial buildings to residential homes. He also does car detailing, a lot of different services. So he's going to come in here and tell us all about that stuff as well. So it's going to be good.
Absolutely. So it's going to be awesome, you
Yeah.
guys. And so you guys stay tuned for all of that. Guys, hey, before we leave here, Cindy, do we have any questions for Jeremy? We're going to find out if we have anything.
A lot of great compliments, and you guys look super young.
That's all. Hey, shout out to Todd. You know, has us all three decked out in the suits. So if you need a
Todd
suit,
White, the name of his company.
if you need a little bit of fashion,
Todd's Clothers.
yes, sir.
He's got multiple locations. Right
What
there.
Ward Parkway
Ward
Mall?
Parkway Mall.
And then he's got a new one. We're not going to mention it.
We're not going to mention the location yet.
Coming up,
That's
though.
coming up soon.
It's coming on.
Yes, sir.
We'll let him tell us when we can mention that
Yeah.
new location coming on. But as of right now, he's got the Crossroads, and he's got in Ward Parkway Mall. And you guys, seriously, if you're looking for a new suit, go out there and call Todd.
Yeah, all my boys out there, if you need new suits, call me and I'll hook you up. So
Tell me
let me
for
know.
you. There we go. Absolutely,
Yeah.
guys. Hey guys, as always, if you want to continue to follow us, go to www.hospitalityhomeskc.com, our website. We'll have these interviews on there, so you can go back there and look at it. And then also, you can see the restaurants that we've interviewed. You can see the restaurants that with their restaurant links. And our whole goal here is really, we don't want people to go to Google search a restaurant. Like, why don't we just go to Hospitality Homes website? And
One-stop shop.
yeah, and see the restaurants that they're recommending, and it has their websites. You can see the menu, things like that, and really, and all our vendors that we work with are trusted partners. You know, so if you need a loan officer, if you need a roofer, if you need somebody to clean your gutters or put new gutters on or whatever, it's all on there, you guys. So use us, and go on there and check it out. I get nothing out of it, but we're doing it for all of you.
But I do want to add that, thank you for constantly going out there and supporting small business.
Absolutely.
Small business restaurants, businesses.
Yep.
No disrespect to the corporate America,
No.
but we're all about trying to keep dollars here in Kansas
Yes,
City.
we are.
And you are as well, and I want to commend you both on that, because that is something that is a core part of me, part of my fabric, and thank you for doing that. every
Absolutely.
day. It's amazing.
Appreciate that. And you guys, you can also follow us on Facebook at Hospitality Homes KC. You can follow us on there, and then Noah is throwing stuff on Instagram and things like that, right?
Yes, sir. Instagram, Noah_Ojeda. Check it out. I'm posting all this stuff as well. So, yeah.
So it'll be fun, you guys. As always, you guys, thank you so much, and stay safe out there. And as always, stay strong, stay healthy, and stay positive as always. We're out, you guys. We'll see you next Thursday. Talk to you soon. Bye.